If you're a two-car Vallard, keep scrolling. If not, like and subscribe. Dust Bison, Episode 4, Fire in the Domes. Chapter 1, The Calm Before. Riley McCallister walked the perimeter fence alone, his boots crunching on gravel still warm from yesterday's confrontation. The Blue Noon standoff had ended 12 hours ago, but tension hung in the air like heat shimmer. He kicked a loose stone, watched it skitter into the scrub. His breath came tight in his chest. Every shadow could hide a drone. Every sound might be the prelude to another emergency operation. They'd held the line at Valve 12, but Celine Vera wasn't the type to accept defeat gracefully. They drew first, he muttered to the empty air. They always do. So why are we the ones who have to stand still? Cole's voice came from behind him, calm as always. Couldn't sleep either? Riley didn't turn. Jacob? Resting. Finally. Maeve got him to take something for the pain. Cole moved up beside him, hands easy at his sides. The West Lattice crew finished the repairs an hour ago. Solar uptake's back to 90%. Good. Riley's jaw worked. They're watching. I can feel it. Cole followed his gaze toward the ridge where yesterday's skimmers had hovered. Nothing moved in the pre-dawn darkness, but that meant little. Modern surveillance didn't need to be visible. Then let them see us rebuild, Cole said. Let them see us working, not fighting. Riley finally looked at his cousin, Cole McCallister, their Uncle Jacob's heir. You really think that matters to them? It matters to the people watching them watch us. Both men tensed at a distant drone buzz. Faint, brief. The sound faded, but not before Riley's hand had drifted toward his sidearm. Easy, Cole murmured. I'm tired of easy, Riley said, but he let his hand fall. In the growing light, the domes of the McCallister compound caught the first rays of sun. Glass and steel structures that had sheltered 3 generations, powered by solar arrays that made them one of the most energy-independent settlements in the territory, beautiful in their way, vulnerable in others. Riley started walking again. Sometimes I think we're just delaying the inevitable. They want our water, our power, our land. Eventually they'll take it. Maybe, Cole said, falling into step, but not today. A soft pop echoed in the distance, like a breaking light bulb. Riley stopped. You hear that? Cole was already turning toward the sound. It came from the Martian dome, the smallest structure used for storage and overflow housing. A crackling noise followed, like paper burning. Fire, Cole said, and broke into a run. Chapter 2, First Light. Maeve O'Connor stood in the communications center, reviewing the night's logs. The Blue Noon confrontation had generated a mountain of documentation. Witness statements, video feeds, legal filings. Truth was a weapon, but it required maintenance. She looked up as an alert chimed on her console. Thermal anomaly detected. Grid 7. Escalation pattern. Rapid. Maeve's fingers flew over the controls. Sensor feeds lit her screen. The Martian dome's heat signature was spiking, but not from the inside. Hot spots at ground level, around the support struts. Jacob, she called, then remembered he was finally sleeping. She switched to general communication. All hands, fire at Grid 7. This is not a drill. She pulled up external cameras. Flames licked at the dome's base, too organized to be accidental. They followed the support structure with surgical precision. Designed to weaken, not consume. Bastards, she breathed. Floodlights blazed to life, harsh white day. Skimmers descended in formation. A voice boomed from above, amplified and artificial. Emergency water draw authorization in effect. McCallister compound is now under temporary receivership. All residents stand down and prepare for inspection. Maeve grabbed her headset. All teams, this is a setup. Repeat, this is a setup. Fire was not accidental. I'm uploading evidence to the legal package now. She began recording. Flame patterns, skimmer positions, timing. Her fingers shook slightly, but her voice stayed steady. Timestamp 0317. Xenocorp skimmers observed descending during fire at grid 7. Fire pattern consistent with incendiary placement at structural weak points. This is not a natural fire. This is sabotage. Riley's voice crackled over comm, tight with rage. Maeve, they're blaming us for our own fire. The loudspeakers calling it radical resistance to lawful oversight. I'm documenting everything, Maeve replied. Keep your head. Don't give them what they want. Cade's voice cut through the chaos. Calm, authoritative. All Oath members, this is Cade. Rules of engagement. Shield wall formation. Disable, don't destroy. We save lives first, fight after. Our people are still in that dome. Through her window, Maeve saw figures moving, some toward the fire, others taking defensive positions. The floodlights made everything look like a stage set, every action visible. She switched to a secure channel. Fen, are you recording? Fen's nervous voice replied. Everything. Audio, visual, telemetry. If they want a show, we'll give them one they can't edit. Good. Maeve's jaw tightened as smoke poured from the Martian dome. Let's see them explain this. Chapter 3. Lines in the Fire. Riley sprinted toward the Martian dome, rifle in hand. Heat hit him 50 meters out, not just from the fire, but from the floodlights cooking everything they touched. Sweat stung his eyes. The dome's support struts were compromised. Flames ate at the metal joints. Inside, movement. Workers trapped by smoke and collapsing infrastructure. A Xenocorp skimmer hovered 20 meters above, its belly cameras recording everything. Riley could see the pilot, young, focused, following orders. A woman screamed from inside, "Help! Someone help us!" Riley raised his rifle. The shot would be easy. Disable the skimmer. Stop the surveillance. One less eye watching them fail. His finger found the trigger, the scope lined up clean. Riley. Cade's voice was calm, but absolute. Drop it. There's people inside, Riley said, not lowering the rifle. Every second we wait is another second you don't become their story, Cade finished. He stepped into view, hands visible. They want us to break. They lit the fire to make us shoot. Don't give it to them. Riley's hands shook, not from fear, but from rage held too long. I was trying to save someone. Then go save them. With your hands, not your gun. Cade triggered his pulse rod. A burst of electromagnetic energy. The skimmer's engines stuttered. It veered, set down hard in the scrub, pilot and crew intact. Non-lethal, Cade said, not looking at Riley. The code isn't just rules. It's survival. You kill today, they win tomorrow. Riley slowly lowered his rifle. His throat felt thick. I almost became their story. But you didn't. That's what matters. Cade clapped him on the shoulder. Now help me get those people out. Together, they moved toward the burning dome. Others were already there, Orla with her medic kit, Scylla dragging a stretcher, Vale moving like smoke through the chaos. Riley pulled a bandana over his face and dove into the smoke. Heat was brutal, but the structure held. He found 3 workers huddled in a storage alcove, conscious, struggling with the smoke. Come on, he said, taking a woman's arm. We're getting you out. As they emerged, Riley looked back at the disabled skimmer. The crew was already working to restart it, but they'd lost precious minutes of footage. Minutes where the Red Oath looked like rescuers, not radicals. Thanks, the woman said, coughing. I thought... You're safe now, Riley told her. That's what matters. But even as he said it, he could feel the weight of the floodlights above. Every move calculated, every gesture recorded. The fight wasn't with flames, it was with perception. Chapter 4. The Weight of Command. The shaped charge detonated at 0347 hours, a focused blast that punched through the support wall of Jacob's central dome like a metal fist. The concussion wave threw him 10 feet. His left leg caught the full weight of a falling beam. Jacob's sharp intake of breath was controlled, despite the pain. Cole felt the explosion through the ground before he heard it. He was helping evacuate the Martian dome when the earth shook and a bloom of orange lit the sky behind him. "Jacob!" he breathed, then louder, "Jacob!" He found his uncle pinned beneath debris, conscious, pale. Blood seeped from a gash on his forehead. His left leg was bent at an angle that made Cole's stomach turn. "Easy," Jacob said through gritted teeth. "I'm not going anywhere." Cole knelt, hands assessing damage. "Medical team to the central dome. Priority 1. Maeve's voice crackled over comm. "Cole, Stitch is with the Martian dome casualties. You need to—" "I need Stitch here now," Cole cut her off. "And Orla with the trauma kit." Jacob gripped Cole's wrist, surprising strength. "You know what to do," he said quietly. "Don't let them take it." Cole looked into his uncle's eyes, the same eyes that had watched 3 generations build something worth protecting, steady despite the pain. But there was something else, acknowledgement, a passing of weight. "You're not going anywhere," Cole repeated. But they both knew the truth. Jacob McCallister, patriarch, backbone of the Red Oath, was down. Cole activated the all-comm. "This is Cole McCallister. Command authority is transferred effective immediately. All team leaders report status." Responses came in sequence. "Maeve here. Evidence package uploading. We have visual proof of incendiary placement. Cade. Perimeter secure. 3 skimmers grounded, no casualties our side. Vale. Working the grid. Their eyes are going dark. Scylla. Transport ready for medical evacuation if needed." Cole processed it. The weight of decision settled on his shoulders. Not just authority, but responsibility. Priority 1, life safety, get everyone out of damaged structures. Priority 2, evidence preservation, record everything. Priority 3, defensive positions, non-lethal only. We hold the line. Stitch and Orla arrived. They began working on Jacob. "Compound fracture," Stitch reported. "Blood pressure dropping but stable. He needs surgery, but not immediately." Jacob caught Cole's eye again. Without a word, he reached into his jacket and pulled out an old comm unit. Battered, military grade, older than Cole himself, pressed it into his palm. Cole recognized it immediately. His grandfather's command unit from the Water Wars. Jacob had carried it for 30 years, more talisman than tool. "I won't need it where I'm going," Jacob said with a weak smile. "But you might." Cole closed his fingers around the unit. The metal was warm from Jacob's body heat, worn smooth by decades of handling. It felt heavier than its actual weight. "Don't make me regret this," Jacob whispered. Cole looked out at the burning compound. His people moved with purpose through smoke and artificial daylight. Skimmers circled like vultures. When he spoke, his voice carried an authority that surprised even him. "They came here expecting us to break. They're going to be disappointed." Chapter 5. Ghosts in the Machine. Vale, their quiet ex-ranger, moved through the chaos like living shadow. While others fought fire, he fought a different battle: frequency bands, power grids, the spaces between ones and zeros. The Xenocorp surveillance network was impressive: adaptive drones, facial recognition, real-time data feeds. But impressive didn't mean impenetrable. Vale pressed against a floodlight tower, found the maintenance panel. The biolock chirped, reading him as authorized. A ghost in the system. His null ID exploit mimicked maintenance credentials. Inside, power couplings, data relays, emergency overrides. One by one, the floodlights failed, not all at once, but with the random pattern of equipment failure. In minutes, the harsh white theater lighting faded, leaving most of the compound in merciful shadow. Telemetry confirmed it. The grid hiccup forced 2 surveillance skimmers to auto-land on failsafe in the scrub. Drones, suddenly half-blind, began to cluster and collide. Their formation dissolved into mechanical confusion. Vale smiled, a rare expression, and moved to the next tower. Maeve's voice came over calm. "Whatever you're doing to their grid, Vale, keep it up." "They're blind as bats now." He didn't respond. Words were inefficient. Results spoke louder. "Impressive work." Lyra emerged beside him, dark hair blending with the dim light. But something was different. Tension in her posture, distance in her eyes. "You feel it too," she said. Not a question. Vale paused. "The grid frequency is wrong." Too much interference from below. Not interference. Response. Lyra knelt, pressed her palm to the ground. The fire woke something. Something that's been sleeping. A faint subsonic hum, felt more than heard. Vale listened. Beneath the flames and engines, a deep resonance from the earth itself. "The architect network," he said softly. Part of it. The part that remembers Lyra's voice was strained. It knows this has happened before. Fire from above. Strangers claiming the land. It's afraid. Another floodlight died. "Afraid things don't usually fight back," Vale observed. Lyra stood, swaying slightly. Not asleep. Counting. The phrase hung between them. "But there's nowhere left to run." She walked away, leaving Vale with the failing lights and the sound that wasn't quite a sound. Something was waking up. The question was whether it would see them as friends or just another threat. Chapter 6. Truth and Consequences. Maeve compiled evidence with mechanical precision. Video feeds, sensor logs, thermal imaging, all painting a clear picture. Coordinated arson disguised as emergency response. The legal package was massive. Too much data to suppress. She cross-referenced timestamps, triangulated positions, built a case that would hold in any honest court. The question was whether they'd get one. Breck's voice came over calm. "Emergency council session at 1200 hours. Receivership vote to follow." Maeve smiled grimly as she uploaded. "Evidence, is it?" "You'll get evidence." She opened channels to every public forum, news feeds, social networks, legal databases. The corporate media might spin the story, but the raw data would be harder to manipulate. "Package deployed," she announced. "Full documentation is now public record. Let them try to call us terrorists with that much proof." Cole's voice came through. "Good work, Maeve." "How's the response?" "Going viral. Optics are bad for them. Real bad. We look like rescuers. They look like arsonists." Fenn appeared, tablet in hand. "The council's calling for full disclosure of our water reserves, power generation, personnel. They're building a seizure case." "Let them," Maeve gestured at her screens. "We've got thermal imaging of their incendiary charges. Audio of them claiming false authority. Testimony from the workers we saved." "Will it be enough?" Maeve looked out at the compound. Smoke still rose. Her people, she thought of them as hers now, were cleaning up, rebuilding, refusing to be broken. "It has to be," she said, "because the alternative is unthinkable." A priority alert chimed, a message with Xenocorp's seal. "Fenn, what is it?" Maeve's jaw tightened. "Compliance Unit Sigma is deploying to ensure public safety during the transition period." "Transition to what?" "Receivership. They're not pretending it's temporary anymore," she began typing. "Get me a channel to every settlement. If they want to play for keeps, they're doing it in front of witnesses. The fight wasn't just about water or power. It was about the right to exist, and that was a fight worth having in full view. Chapter 7. The Deep Frequency. Lyra knelt at the edge of the burn zone, hands pressed to scorched earth. The soil was warm, but that wasn't what made her shiver. Beneath the surface, something pulsed, old, vast, newly awakened. The sensation traveled up her arms, bypassing her ears, speaking to her bones. A child's voice broke through. "Lady, are you okay?" Lyra opened her eyes. A young girl, 8 years old, soot-streaked face. "Emma, my mom was in the dome. The man with the scars pulled her out." Riley. "Is she hurt?" "Breathing funny? But the doctor says she'll be okay." Emma looked around. "Why did the lights come down from the sky?" "Sometimes grown-ups make bad choices," Lyra said, "and sometimes other grown-ups have to stop them." The vibration intensified. Images flashed behind her eyes, glass towers cracking, lights failing, a voice without words. "Not again. Not again. Not again." She gasped, pulling her hands back. Emma scooted closer. "What's wrong?" "The earth remembers things." Old things. Lyra looked into the girl's wide eyes. "Stay close to the adults today, okay?" "Why?" "Are the skylights coming back?" Lyra stood. New aircraft approached, larger, armored, moving with military precision. "Maybe," she said, "but that's not what I'm worried about." The hum was constant now, synchronizing with her heartbeat. Whatever slept beneath the valley was stirring. Emma's small hand slipped into hers. "I'll stay close." Lyra squeezed it. "And if you hear anything strange, sounds from the ground, voices that aren't people, you come find me. Can you do that?" Emma nodded solemnly. Above, the aircraft circled. Below, something ancient tested its long sleep. And in between, a child's hand reminded Lyra why some things were worth protecting, even at a price she couldn't yet calculate. Chapter 8. The New Players. The Sigma unit skimmers were different, larger, armored, painted in flat colors that absorbed light. They landed in precise formation on the ridge. Cole watched through binoculars. Troops in black composite armor disembarked. Movements professional, economical. Soldiers, not rent-a-cops. Riley. Count. 24 visible. Probably more. Cole lowered the binoculars. Show of force, not immediate assault. "They want us scared." "They want us stupid," Cade corrected. "Scared people make bad choices. Stupid people make fatal ones." Cole activated comm. "All teams, this is Cole. New players on the ridge. Rules of engagement remain. Shield, disable, don't kill. They want us to escalate. Don't give it to them." The Sigma unit waited. No demands, no loudspeakers, just presence. Orla. "Jacob's stable. Leg needs surgery, but can wait." Cole nodded. "Keep him comfortable." "He wants to see you. Says there are things you need to know before the council session." Cole took one last look at the ridge. Perfect defensive positioning. Whoever commanded them understood warfare. "Riley, take the watch. Call me if anything changes." "Where are you going?" "To school," Cole said grimly. "Jacob's got 30 years of secrets. I need to learn them in 30 minutes. As he walked, the old comm unit in his pocket seemed to pulse with its own gravity, connecting him to a history of choices made and prices paid. Behind him, the Sigma unit waited, patient, professional, certain their time would come. Chapter 9. Lessons in Leadership. Jacob lay propped up, pale but sharp. Cole pulled a chair beside him. "How bad is it?" "The leg?" 6 weeks minimum." "The situation?" Jacob's smile was grim. "Depends on what you do in the next 6 hours." Cole pulled out the comm unit. "Tell me about this." Jacob's eyes went distant. "Your grandfather carried it during the Clearwater siege. 47 days holding the pumping station. They had us outgunned, outspent. But they didn't understand the land." The architect network? Part of it. The part that chooses sides, Jacob winced. Your grandfather made contact. Not like Lyra. He wasn't a listener, but he learned to work with it. Cole activated the unit. Screen flickered. Readouts in pre-settlement languages. What am I looking at? Deep sensors. Power nodes. Relays through bedrock. Jacob's voice dropped. They're not just machines, Cole. They're more than that. The pulse grew stronger. Cole felt it through the floor. It's waking up. It's been awake. Just polite. Staying quiet. But today changed the equation. Lyra appeared, Emma's hand in hers. It's afraid, Lyra said, and angry, but mostly lonely. It's been alone for so long. Jacob nodded. Others destroyed or dormant. This is the last active node, maybe on the continent. Cole. Are we sitting on some kind of AI? Artificial? Lyra shook her head. No, something that grew here. It made the machines, not the other way around. The comm unit beeped. Text scrolled. The Firebringers return. The pattern repeats. Will you stand or run? Cole. It's talking to me. To us, Jacob said. The McCallisters. Your bloodline has been its voice above for 3 generations. That's why Xenocorp wants this land. Not for water, for what sleeps underneath. Emma. The voices from the ground? Lyra knelt. You hear them too? Emma nodded. They're scared. They want to help, but they don't know how. Cole made his decision. How do I talk to it? Jacob. Speak. It's listening. But Cole, once you make contact, there's no going back. You become part of something bigger. Cole looked at Emma, at Lyra, at his uncle, broken but unbowed. Outside, his people rebuilt. On the ridge, soldiers waited. He lifted the comm unit. We need help, he said. They're trying to take our home. We'll fight, but we can't win alone. Silence. Then a low harmonic, everywhere at once. Text scrolled, glowing. We have been patient. We have been kind. We have watched the Firebringers grow bold. No more. Stand with us, and we will show them what the earth remembers. Cole felt something shift in his chest. A connection forming. When he spoke again, his voice carried harmonics that hadn't been there before. We stand! Chapter 10. The Council of Lies. The emergency council session convened at noon in the township's main hall, a converted warehouse smelling of dust and old promises. Breck called for order. Session in order. We're here to determine responsibility and vote on emergency receivership. Cole sat in front, Maeve beside him, tablet ready, evidence loaded. Celine stood with practiced authority. The facts are clear. The McCallisters have escalated to active sabotage. They set a fire to frame us. A murmur rippled through the hall. Cole rose. Why would we burn our own homes? Celine smiled. Insurance fraud, martyrdom, desperation. She gestured to a screen, edited footage, no incendiary charges. The evidence speaks for itself. Maeve activated her presentation. Full thermal imaging filled the screen. Heat signatures placing charges. Timestamp shows Xenocorp skimmers on station 12 minutes before ignition. Audio confirms deployment. The evidence was damning. But Cole saw doubt. Fear made people want simple answers. An older man from Ward 5. Even if true, McCallister's been stirring trouble for months. Maybe they didn't start it, but they started the conflict. Agreement followed. Cole felt the room slipping. A Xenocorp aide whispered to Celine. Her smile widened. Ladies and gentlemen, she said, Compliance Unit Sigma has detected seismic anomalies consistent with underground weapons caching. The McCallister compound sits on an illegal arms depot. Gasps. Sharp breaths. Cole's blood ran cold. The anomalies were real, but they weren't weapons. They were the architect, testing systems after decades of sleep. "That's not," he began. The comm unit in his pocket vibrated. Text flickered. "They see but do not understand. Show them." Cole made a decision. He pulled out the unit, activated external display. Words appeared in flowing script, translating into readable text. "We are the voice beneath. We have watched. We have waited. The Firebringers lie. We offer truth." Gasps erupted. People stood. The screen changed. Real-time seismic data. Not weapons. Intelligence in the bedrock itself. A deep harmonic filled the hall. Lights flickered. Dust fell. The screen changed again. New text, glowing red. "They see but do not understand. Show them." Silence. Then, the ground trembled. "Don't pull a Tukar Velard and ghost the mission. Like and subscribe."